one of the words that came up to my mind when Chris was sharing about how he's dealing with his cohort was the word meek. And in Scripture it says that the meek shall inherit the earth. And when I discovered what meek actually meant, I was just like, oh wow, that's actually a very powerful word. What Chris displayed was meekness. It was the ability. Let me define meek. It's knowing that you have the power to damage somebody essentially, and but you sheath your sword despite that. So you can chop somebody's head off, but the meek person actually is the one who's like, and then puts it back into its sheath. And so essentially what we're talking about, whether it's a clear communication, managing our emotions, this and the other, it's actually we need to learn how to be meek. It's knowing, which requires us to know how powerful we actually are, right? And if you know how powerful you are, you know better than to let your emotions drive the ship. Um, Whereas it sounds like what Chris is doing is letting his awareness guide the ship, right? So it's like, I know better than to take this action. I know that this emotion's rising up in me. Let me turn off the camera. Like he's making manual conscious choices, knowing that he's in a state of emotion that if he lets run rampant, he could just explode all over the place. So to me, in hearing him sharing all that, the back and forth, do I talk to the boss? Do I not talk to the boss? I did talk to the boss. All these things are all unfolding because even he said it towards the end there, he knew what he wanted. He knew exactly where his GPS was taking him, and as opposed to letting it spew out in any sort of direction that it was going to go there. And I define that as meekness, where it's just again, where it's it's learning to let your awareness be in control rather than your emotions or your emotional state.